Hi everyone, it's Louise Pearson back with you for another video in my series about when you're the one with a life-limiting illness. And this one is titled, It's Not All About You. And I just want to say to anyone who might be beginning with this part of the series rather than having it come at the end, is that it's, something that I'm coming to you from a position of lived experience. I have pancreatic cancer myself, and also as a mental health social worker and a grief and bereavement counsellor. So perhaps it should be that this video is entitled, It's Not Just About You. And I say that because it is about us when we're the one with the life-limiting illness. But I rather like the John Donne quote, which says, "No man is an island entirely of itself. Any man's death diminishes me because I am involved in mankind." And it may have been a poem urging us away from isolation that John Donne wrote. But for me, the reality needs to be acknowledged that when we have a life-limiting illness, the ripple effect can be huge. So it goes out to immediate family, to partners, to extended family, to friends, neighbours, work colleagues, and all of these people may be impacted by our diagnoses and by the trajectories of our illness, and badly impacted. Just as our dreams are shattered or changed, so can theirs be, and their grief also therefore needs to be acknowledged, I think. I think it's important to see that we too have a role in providing this support for as long as we can. And as we grieve for ourselves, I think we need to acknowledge that I've certainly found that we are worrying about those we love. I was attending a conference in Sydney back in 1995 about epilepsy when a father stood up to speak, and he talked about 3 a.m. syndrome. And he said that, while some people might be lucky enough to still be out dancing, others might be making love if they're lucky. For him, he was worrying about what would happen to his child when he was no longer here. And I feel that as someone with a life-limiting illness, that very much is one of my truths. It's our children, our parents, our siblings, in my case, my niece and nephew, our friends, our dogs. And, the question, I guess, that comes to my mind is, who will look after them as we do? Who's going to think of all the things that we will think of? Other people will look after them in their way, but they won't look after them as I would. And often this worry is the one which plagues us in the early hours of the morning. So what do we do about that? Well, in reality, there is no easy answers. I think where we can, we need to acknowledge our concerns and to be prepared. So make some plans, maybe writing letters, in order that, when there's a time when you can no longer write letters, those things will be written. Get said what you need to get said. And, it might be that you talk to others. So some of those support groups that I've mentioned, the Facebook groups, where you're talking to other people who are dealing with the same issue as you are dealing with. I think that moving on from John Donne and his suggestion that we move away from isolation, that we see our pain and each other's pains, I kind of like the framework of, the old saying is that it takes a village to raise a child. And I think it takes a village to cope with a life-limiting illness. We are all, in my little framework, a part of the village. So everyone in the village will be impacted in some way. If you're living in the manor house or the main focal point of Main Street, the impact is going to be huge. But those living on Main Street around you may need particular support also. So, sometimes it might be acknowledgement from us about the support that they have provided and how fantastic they have been, and also that we can see their fear and their worries about what's coming up ahead. While it's true that some people will disappoint us and not be around as much as we thought they would be, maybe they've even moved out of Main Street and into different areas of the village. It's also true that other people will come forward and from unexpected directions. So last year, when I was in the situation with my diagnosis, I had amazing support from people who did all sorts of things, from coming to sit with me and talk to me, to bringing food, to walking my guide dog, to just being there. And I think the final reality that I want us to think about is that the more we share with our village, the stronger the community around us develops. If people know what we need, they can help us. And I guess that my hope is that if that village is strong, then if I come to a time when I'm no longer here, then that community will be strong enough to support those who are in it. I'm hoping that you found this video helpful. If you have, please press like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll be back for more soon in these videos about what it's like when you are one with the life-limiting illness.